this would occur, stadium's a subject too. You're absolutely correct. But we're asking ourselves, what is the main subject here? Who's the thing or someone or the thing doing the action? And it is we. What is we doing? They're doing the seeing. We saw. We saw the game. So Kevin, I take my subject and I ask myself, is my subject doing the action? You know how I draw my arrows. Is the subject doing the action? Yes. We are seeing. So I know this is active. The subject is doing the action. Ashley is our subject. She is kicking the ball. Who wants number 2? Toby, don't raise your hand fast enough, kid in the back.
Oh, my bad.
The game has been won by the blue team. What's our subject in that sentence? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. The game. DeAndre, the game is our subject, right? What's happening to the game, Toby?
It's being won.
It's being won. So our verb is happening to the subject, right?
Yeah.
Going in the opposite direction of here. What does that make that sentence, Toby?
Yes.
Passive. Passive.
Yes.
Okay? We talked about something in passive that usually happens. What is it? What is usually at the end? Kevin, I'm up here.
Yeah.
Thank you. What is at the end of a passive sentence? Cool sweater today, by the way. I think my grandpa has one.
We can't say.
Must have Jason.
Yeah, he does. All right, what's at the end of our passive sentence, Chris? Usually. The doer. And listening. Our doer is at the end of our passive sentences. Normally it's a name, or it could be the team, the blue team. Right, who wants number 3? TJ. The fire was being extinguished. What's our subject? The fire. This one's hard. A lot of students are troubling with this one. Was being extinguished. Do you think this is active or passive? Sorry, Toby with her TJ. Passive? Why is it passive? Explain it to me. This extinguishing was happening to our fire, right? The fire doesn't have big old arms and it's putting itself out. The extinguishing is happening to the fire. Okay? Janisha, you got number 4, girl. I know you do. And you know what's tough in this one? The subject and being able to identify it. It gets cold here during the winter. Now I'm asking you, do you want to do number 4?
No.
It gets cold here during the winter. Janisha, what would be our subject in it gets cold? This is tough. If I just told you this, if I just broke this down, Janisha, and I said it gets cold, that's my sentence. Is it gets or cold my subject? Gets is a verb because that's an action. It. Did you say it? Yes. It is my subject. What is it doing? It's getting, right? So if my subject is doing the action, Janisha, is it active or passive? If this, I don't take that answer. If the subject is doing the action, Ashley, woo! Active! Okay.
Yes.
So, Janisha, you just said, I don't know, I don't care about this, and you just answered it correctly. Well done. All right, so your do now is going to be put away, and you need to take out your formative, and you have 16.5 seconds to do it. Go. Why not? Don't give me a heart attack. You know I already got our credits. By the way, raise your hand if when you saw the medical condition form today, one of the kids goes, Miss Winter, you would have to circle arthritis.
You said that.
Well, you would.
And I said, yeah, and you're going to have to circle that you got an F in it. Okay. No, I can't. Or can I? All right.
Can you just choose not to?
So we're most commonly,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna repeat myself, and this is, your learning. We talked about this isn't for me, this is for you. Own your day, own your, time. Alright, so Jamila, yesterday we went over the most commonly, missed questions on our formative, and why did we miss them? Okay, it's kind of a boring day, but guess what? You learned why you're missing questions on these exams. So today, our objective here is we're going to practice and apply what we learned yesterday, our test-taking skills of circling the correct answer, providing our explanations, taking our time reading, maybe reading a passage more than once, thinking through our questions. And we're going to apply that to a new assignment. This assignment was something Ms. Whitaker wrote based off the questions that were missed. You're welcome. I spent my Thanksgiving break thinking, how do I give them extra practice without handing them another one that looks like this? Because I could have printed another one off the system, but I didn't want you guys to be bogged down with boring questions, so I made my own. Sir, I'm talking, put your hand down. This is my own assignment. So, you're going to take what you learned yesterday about how to answer these questions. Head up. Before we go on, I don't know where we left off yesterday, so I'm going to leave off right here. I want you to open up your formative to number 20. Okay, we left off at 24, so we went over You Won't Believe the Taste?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Okay, number 24, perfectly.
Yeah, mate.
Yes, because I fixed your, is that why you've been raising your hand?
Yes.
Sorry, Sarah. All right, that's okay, we're going to start right here. Aaron, can you please read the question up there for number 24?
Which part of the speech is spinning as it in sentence?
And what is the sentence, Aaron?
I'll watch the spinning top so it comes to red.
Here's my top. Yeah, no, it's just really a bottle. Okay, watch. This is this top, and it is spinning. It is describing the top. That was pathetic. It is describing the top. Just like this is purple, purple would be describing my pen. If this is spinning, here's my top and it's spinning, it's describing it. What word do we use? Do we use a verb, an adjective, an adverb, or a preposition when we are describing something? Excuse me. Hands in the air. Sonia. Chris, did you hear what Sonia said? No. Thank you. You need to help Chris say you should help Sonia. Nice and loud.
Adjective.
There you go. There's that voice I know you have, Sonia. Good job, Sonia. An adjective, it's describing. Oh boy, oh boy. Why are kids looking at putting an adverb?
They don't know what it is.
Alright, so someone get up and show me what an adverb is, because I've done it 100 times. Okay, Chris, get up and show what Ms. Whitaker does for an adverb. Describe what you're doing for an adverb.
Slowly walk.
Okay, now walk. Now do it in a different way.
Run.
Now you're walking how?
No running in the classroom.
How are you walking?
Not running.
Quickly. Thank you, Tanisha.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Chris was walking, and then he was walking slowly. Slowly was describing his action. This isn't describing the action. Spinning isn't describing our action, it's describing our top. That's why it's an adjective and not an adverb. A lot of you put adverb on your test. Spinning isn't describing how it's being done. It's not spinning quickly. Quickly would be the adverb. It's just simply describing the top. All right? And since we did that for our warm-up, we'll move on. So our project today, where our objective is to use what we learned and apply it to our assignment today. We are going to be doing some partner work. During our partner work, I have set some expectations that we have set each and every time we work in partners here. Sonia, can you Can you read the list, all three of them, please, of what my expectations are and your expectations of the classroom? This is not just me. This is our classroom. What are our expectations? And I said that I meant Val. Go ahead, Val. Read our expectations, please.
Talk along with your partner. Both partners need to contribute. Just sitting there and picking your nose will not help getting the benchmark. Help each other, explain the questions and answers so that help.
My favorite is just sitting there and picking your nose is not going to help on your benchmark next week, and your partner's going to be grossed out. We've talked about owning our education and figuring out why we're doing things each and every day. If you are just sitting in here today and you're going, partner, just hurry up and get this done, that is not going to help you in 2 weeks. All right? So you need to take the time. If your partner, Bria, is like, I don't really get this question, explain it. Say, I think this is the reason why. Now, let's say I'm Sonia's partner. I need all eyes over here. Give me a moment to feel good and go back to 8th grade. I'm Sonia's partner. Oh, she's lucky. And I'm sitting like this, and I'm talking to Taylor. What rule am I breaking? Taylor, dude, did you hear about the boy that came today? I can't wait. That's about what am I breaking? The first one. And which was that? Great. Okay. So those are our expectations. Now, when I hand you the assignment, it's going to look like this. You're going to get one per partner. Okay, so you're only going to get one. You are going to start at the first story. There's only the first story. And you are going to split it in half. Partner A is going to read the first half, and partner B is going to read the second half. Aaron, explain to the class what I just said about splitting this up.
Partner A is gonna read the first half and the first half.
So let's say I read this part. What part are you going to read? This part down here. If I see one person doing all the reading, you will not receive credit for work today in your participation grade. Also, when you're done, you both are answering these questions. It's not like, Dondra, you do number 1, Brian, you do number 2, you do number 3. No, you're discussing them together. However, partner A will write the answer for the first one, and partner B will write the second. I need to hear you discussing both questions, or the questions. To show you what your answers need to look like, I went home and I marked up the test to show you, and we kind of looked at this yesterday. We need to provide an explanation for every answer. Jamila, what do we need to do for every question? Provide an explanation. Kinsia, what does that mean, to provide an explanation for every answer? I'm sorry, say it louder. To show why it's true. Why else would it maybe be important to explain? Why not just circle and move on? God, I'm so tired of spending so much time on a question. Why else would it be important, Bria? To prove how you got it. Eddie? Maybe take an extra moment so that you're not rushing through. Ooh, cat dog in the house. What you got? Make sure it's right. Good job. Great participation today.
Yes.
So up here. We went over this yesterday where the question was, what happens before Prometheus seeks out Zeus on his throne? Chris, I described where I found it. And where did I find it? In paragraph 8. The question asked me what comes before. So what comes before paragraph 8 was what, Aylin? And what was my explanation? That this occurs in paragraph number 6, and it comes before Prometheus seeks out Zeus.